O love, 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 O withering might, O sun that from thy noonday height shudderest when I strain my sight. Throbbing through all thy heat and light, though falling from my constant mind, though parched and withered, deaf and blind, I whirl like leaves in a roaring wind. Last night I wasted hateful hours below the city's eastern towers. I thirsted for the brooks, the showers. I rolled among the tender flowers. I crushed them on my breast, my mouth. I looked athwart the burning drouth of that long desert to the south. Last night when someone spoke his name, from my swift blood that went and came, 1,000 little shafts of flame were shivered in my narrow frame. O love, O fire, once he drew, with one long kiss my whole soul through, my lips as sunlight drinketh dew. Before he mounts the hill I know, he cometh quickly from below, sweet gales as from deep gardens blow. Before him striking on my brow, in my dry brain my spirit soon, down deepening from swoon to swoon, fates like a day-old morning moon. The winds sound like a silver wire, and from beyond the noon a fire is poured upon the hills and nigher. The skies stoop down in their desire, and isled in sudden seas of light, my heart pierced through with fierce delight, burst into blossom in his sight. My whole soul waiting silently, all naked in a sultry sky, droops blinded with his shining eye. I will possess him or will die. I will grow round him in his place, grow, live, die, looking on his face, I dying clasped in his embrace. Tennyson is wonderful at expressing strong emotions, whether it be a pure love, passion, or obsession. These intense feelings have always been a part of humanity, so it is not surprising that legends and folklore have included these themes. It is something we can all relate to and understand and strive for. Welcome to Tales of Fae and Folklore, everyone, and part 2 of Romance in Folklore and Mythology. Our first story comes from Ovid's Metamorphoses, which is a Roman retelling of Greek mythology. What I find most fascinating about this story is that it shaped the language that we use today. The story of Echo and Narcissus. Echo was a beautiful mountain nymph who was known for being a good storyteller and conversationalist. Zeus approached her and asked her for help. Since it is not wise to deny the king of the gods, she agreed. Zeus wanted her to distract Hera, queen of the gods, by chatting with her and entertaining her with stories. While Echo did this, Zeus would go off having affairs with other nymphs. After some time, Hera caught on to this scheme of Zeus's. She felt betrayed by Echo and put a curse on her so that she could never again speak her own mind. The only words Echo could say were the last words spoken to her by another. Echo began to distance herself from others as she could no longer communicate, and fell into a melancholy state of sorrow. Until one day, while roaming the woods, she came upon a hunter named Narcissus. Narcissus was the son of either Endymion and Selene or Potamoi Cephisus and the Oceanid Liriope. When Narcissus was born, a prophecy was foretold that he would live a long life as long as he didn't know himself or discover himself. They didn't really understand this prophecy, so Narcissus grew up and forgot about it completely. Narcissus was very handsome, and Echo became infatuated by him, falling in love with him as she watched. Many sought after Narcissus, but he refused them all. Echo watched him from the bushes quietly, until Narcissus heard her rustling about. She couldn't speak, so she stayed silent until he called out to her. "Who's there?" he called. She repeated in a kinder voice, "Who's there?" "Who are you?" he said. She repeated, "You." She gathered her bravery and came out of the bushes to meet him. She tried to embrace him, but he shunned her, looking on her with disgust. "Let go of me. I would die before I could ever love you." All Echo could say in response was repeating the words, "Love you." Echo was humiliated and heartbroken. She fled into the trees until she found a cave. She entered, laid down, and withered away, thinking of Narcissus, whom she still loved. Eventually, there was nothing left of Echo but her voice. Echo was not the only one to be undone by loving Narcissus. Emenius, a young man, had also fallen in love with him, but Narcissus could only love himself. Emenius took the rejection horribly, killing himself in the doorway of Narcissus's home using a sword that was gifted to him by Narcissus. A vengeance god named Nemesis decided to intervene either on behalf of Echo or Emenius. It is uncertain. Nemesis lured Narcissus to a clear pool of water for him to drink from while hunting one day. When Narcissus came to the water, he was captivated by his own appearance. He had never seen himself so clearly before. He watched his appearance, every angle, curve, and curl. He fell in love with his own reflection. And when he tried to embrace it, it disappeared. He couldn't look away, staring at the pool until he wasted away, dying slowly. The Naiads and Dryads pleaded with the gods to help him because they felt sorry for him, but to no avail. They wished to give him a burial, but Narcissus had lain there by the water so long that the earth began to overtake his body. By the time they returned for him, there was nothing left but a patch of white and yellow flowers, now named the Narcissus flower. This story is sad. Was anyone actually in love in this story, though, or was it simply obsession? I do find it fascinating that we got the words for Echo, Nemesis, Narcissist, and the Narcissus flower from this tale. Can you imagine writing a story so popular that it changes a language? The story of Vega and Altair gives the phrase star-crossed lovers a whole new meaning. It comes from Chinese lore and is also known as the Weaver Girl and the Cowherder. Vega and Altair are two of the brightest stars in the night sky. Vega representing the weaver and Altair the herder. This story is very old, dating back before 600 BCE. Vega is a princess and daughter of the sky goddess. Altair was a celestial cowherd. The two fell in love, but their love was forbidden. They refused to leave each other, despite their stations. The sky goddess exiled Altair, sending him to Earth, making him mortal, and stripping him of his memories. He was reborn as a mortal, completely forgetting about Vega. When his mortal parents died, Altair was left with nothing but an old ox and a cart. Altair didn't know this, but the ox was also a star who had been sent to Earth as punishment for defending the cowherder, and they became very good friends. Vega visited Earth occasionally, knowing Altair had forgotten her. On one specific occasion, the ox knew she was there and told Altair where to find a beautiful princess. He told him that he should propose to her. Altair listened to his friend and approached Vega. She immediately recognized him, overjoyed. The weaver married the cowherder, and they had 2 children. They stayed on Earth and lived very happily for many years, making a living as a cowherder and she as a weaver. When their ox friend was old and dying, he told Altair to keep his skin so he could use it to fly into the sky should he ever need to. Eventually, the sky goddess found out about the 2 lovers, and enraged, she sent soldiers to Earth to bring Vega back to the sky. The herder could not live without his wife, so he gathered his 2 children and took the hide of the ox and flew into the sky, going after her. Right when they were about to be reunited, the sky goddess took a hairpin and carved out an impassable river into the sky. The 2 lovers stuck on opposite sides. We know this river as the Milky Way. Just when they thought all hope was lost, thousands of magpies flew to them, making a bridge across the river. They were able to run to each other. Upon seeing the joy of this family's reunion, the sky goddess's heart melted. She permitted the weaver and the cowherd to reunite for 1 night each year. On the 7th day of the 7th lunar month every year, the magpies would return, allowing the lovers to reunite once more. In some versions of this tale, the magpies fly up to the Milky Way because Vega cries so hard that the rainfall forces the birds up into the sky. I love this story. It's so romantic and heartbreaking to be separated by your true love, waiting all year for a single night where you can be reunited. And the imagery of the stars being separated by the Milky Way is just beautiful. This is one of those stories that reminds me of why I love folklore and poetry so much. This story has been around for thousands of years, and it is as good today as it was back then. Strong emotions such as love, obsession, infatuation, and passion are ones we can relate to no matter the era or culture that we live in. In my opinion, I feel we are truly lucky to be capable of feeling such emotions, even the heartache. And when we read such things, it reminds us of how that feels and forces us to relive those feelings. It's really quite a magical thing. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I hope you liked this episode. Just a reminder that for less than the cost of a cup of coffee once a month, you can subscribe for more episodes and support the show. Oh, and the poem at the beginning was by Alfred Lord Tennyson. The poem was called Fatima. This has been Selena with Tales of Fae and Folklore.